They say, it ain't on me, it's in me. Hear me speak. They say God sent me. Say I'll be the prophet of the sinners and godly and everybody in between. I'm honored. My ego has been dwindled down enough for me to confess. It ain't always coming from me when I speak. This tongue has lived longer than this 25-year-old body it possesses. And I don't know too much about ancestors, but I do feel angels watching over me closely when I sleep. And I do feel the beat of the drums whenever I breathe. To be honest, y'all, if I'm chosen, I don't know why God chose me. I don't know who in my lineage gave me over to Jehovah, but I do. I do hear his voice whenever my pen begins to bleed. I do feel his hands whenever tears begin to fall down my cheek. Whenever spirits begin to flow through my chi, I'm reminded to meditate. Concentrate on the small, still voice that brings me peace. See, any writer with the gift of gab will tell you it comes with the curse of mental commotion, an unspeakable chaos of unspecified universal pain. To be a seeker of divine knowledge and the speaker of truth is to know that the crucifixion is not just a one-time occurrence. It is not just a landmark on the cross somewhere in Jerusalem. This is not just something you read about and tell your friends. You see, this bloodshed is a daily happening. It is a constant birth and death and rebirth of Christ's consciousness. Why else? Why else do you think so many black boys die on public streets? Why else do you think they are betrayed by those who look just like them, who sit in fancy suits and read scriptures on the news? Do y'all honestly think we are that far removed from the days of Moses and the children of Israel? That far removed from the Garden of Eden? That far removed from God? Do you honestly believe there's a difference between the preacher and the poet? A difference between the first lady and the first baby mama? A difference or a contrast between the congregation and the crowded kickback? If so, then me and you ain't got nothing in common. They are all souls looking for God inside of subjects before looking inside themselves. And y'all, I ain't no different. You see, the prophet must live among the people. The prophet must experience the same situations. They must sit in the same suffering. They must travel through the same trauma. They must try to work through every single trial. You see, the only difference is the prophet must observe and observe accurately enough to articulate history with painstaking truth. The prophet must separate themselves time and time again and die again, all for the sake of seeing the light of God and then relaying the luminescence to the witnesses. You see, the prophet does not get any applause until after the story is over, until the deed is done, until the forecast is forged, and then until the people forget. And then, and only then, is the word of the Lord fruitful and produces fruit. And then the people can live in faith. And then the people can find freedom. And then the people can live in favor, you see. Then the people can live in favor. And y'all, that might take years. That might take decades. That might take blood. It might take sweat, and it just might take a couple tears. But after all, ain't that why we are here? Another degenerative generation hoping to reverse the curses and conquer our fears, to go beyond the ideas our parents and ancestors never had the capabilities or courage to conquer. Y'all, I'm just doing my job, playing my role, doing my work, daring to change the tide with the time I have left on this earth. I'm just using my gifts, and I'm here to encourage you to utilize yours too. Because y'all, it's a whole world out there to change. And as artists, we got work to do. Thank you.